Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kibim Blog. This is Dan Sfera. I'm here with the founder of Kibim, Angel Alberic Bayari. You are, let me guess where you are. Give me three guesses. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, you're in San Francisco, so you're at the
Yeah.
JP Morgan Biotech Conference. What is the official title of this conference?
Well, actually, it's the JP Morgan Biotech Healthcare Conference, or
There
the
you go.
JP Morgan Healthcare Conference, actually.
There
Yeah.
you go. I really wish I could have been there, but it's been so busy here in Southern
Hmm.
California. I'm about a 1 hour
Okay.
flight from where you are, but a 6 hour drive.
Okay.
So here in Southern, it's been busy. It's a busy start to this year, Angel.
Yeah.
And one of the themes I'm noticing is a lot of collaborations in clinical
Hmm.
research. I think we're going to see an explosion of new projects, of new studies
Yes.
across the
Yeah.
world. I think Kibim is prepared for growth this year. What are
Yeah.
some of the things you're getting at this conference? This is all about investments, right? Biotech investments.
Well, actually, it's about investments, but obviously, we have two kinds of meetings during the year. We have the technical radiological meetings, we could say, like ECR in Vienna or RSNA in Chicago, that are for us the reference meetings in our sector. And then we have these other kind of meetings, like the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference, that allows especially startups to gain diffusivity, among investors, among general market, I would say. Here, despite of being, I would say, an investment meeting, the nature or the background of the people coming to these meetings is also quite technical. So most engineers working in big companies ended up also working in investment as of now, and some of them are looking for new opportunities. And for us, in our case, we see that in conferences like this, we can find also the investment part of those big players, like Philips, Siemens, GE, Toshiba, all big companies that are focusing also on startups are here. So for us, we can take advantage also of this conference to
Mm-hmm.
discuss even the technical collaboration. So
And what are because
it's a
people who are watching or listening to YouTube or on Facebook. Kibim's got a pretty good community on Facebook or on
yeah.
iTunes or Google Play. If you're listening, they may not have a chance to be there where you are at the conference. So, what are some of the themes? Because it's already been going on the whole week, right? So, what are
Yeah.
some of the themes for 2018 for this sector?
Well, actually, I think that the main theme nowadays is to focus on the upcoming disruptive technologies of our sector. Here, to be honest, there is 70% pharma business and 30% medical device business, more or less. So I think that in both fields, the disruptive topic nowadays is artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
So everyone is asking about artificial intelligence, how QEBIM is implementing that, and we try to send our message that QEBIM is not focused on AI. We understand AI as a DNA of every biomedical engineer. So that's it.
Right, and so AI, some of the disruptions that Keybeam is ready to take over, actually, gain more market share. What are some of the meetings that you've been getting into? I mean, without sharing details, but what are clients interested in what you have to offer?
Well, mainly, I think that we are now in a moment of bridging opportunities. No, that's why I am in front of the bridge, and big players are looking for opportunities of adding innovative value to the customers. Sometimes this is difficult to achieve in big companies because they have quite rigid units,
Mm-hmm.
historical units that, for example, were created 10 to 15 years ago, and as of now, they have the specific employees working in, for example, MRI development, CT development, or a specific CRO, for example. But can you see me now?
Oh yeah, yeah, we could see you. Oh,
Okay.
actually, now I lost you. There
Okay,
you go.
okay,
Now you're
yeah,
back.
okay, yeah. So actually, these companies are right now looking for innovation from startups and not innovation from themselves, because it's I would say it's faster to acquire the innovation than to
Yeah.
trying to implement themselves. So there are a huge number of companies right now trying to open their architecture, their softwares, to integrate small apps. Like for example, we already have the Apple Store of applications or Google Play. So these are kind of marketplaces where you can find solutions from several developers. And I think that right now is the time for this kind of big companies opening their platforms and allow small companies like Weaving to participate from their software and from their solutions and to arrive to their customers.
Yeah. Now, as far as the artificial intelligence, so what are some of the biggest applications right now that you think are the most practical applications for this space, and particularly for clinical research?
I think that AI is permeating everything, right? So for us, for Quivim, we see that the main benefit of AI will be the automated extraction of all the organs of the human body. No, for example, right now, if we want to, segmenting the brain is quite easy. Segmenting gray matter, white matter, using traditional imaging techniques, it's quite straightforward. But if we want to segment or extract, for example, organs like the liver from an MRI or the kidney, it's quite difficult. No, it's not possible nowadays in a, I would say, a straightforward way. For that, we need AI techniques. We train convolutional neural networks to learn how to segment, for example, from CT and MR. For that, we need expert data, expert annotated data. And for us, for Quivim, segmentation is one of the hobby horses of what we are doing right now. So increasing segmentation is one point, and the other one is the generation of accurate and I would say precise predictive models in our field. We are generating a lot of quantitative feature extraction from images, features like, for example, fractal properties, cellularity properties, angiogenesis properties from lesions. And these quantitative features in the end allow us to phenotype the different lesions. And I think that creating models that learn how to phenotype tumors depending on quantitative imaging features is, I think, the future of AI. Having an imaging study, having an automated segmentation of that study, extracting the organs, extracting the lesions automatically, and phenotyping the lesions also with AI, and being able to provide a structured report telling if that lesion has to be biopsied or not, or the potential management of the disease.
And how close do you think we are to seeing this widespread in the industry? I mean, is it like this year? Is it in a few
Now,
years?
I think that we start right now to have quite promising algorithms for quantification, extraction, and prediction. And I think that we are still 5 years ahead of having this kind of solutions in clinical practice.
5 years. Okay, so you're here early, but you are starting to see the early adopters coming in,
Yes.
utilizing the technology, trying to have a an advantage, basically, a competitive
Yeah.
advantage to
Yeah.
their, to maybe someone else who's not as innovative. So
Yeah.
segmentation is the first step, right? Can you talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
Well, actually, for us, segmentation is one of the most important steps, because it's the only one where imaging biomarkers algorithms nowadays keep manual or keep interactive in some points. For example, if you want to extract the fat fraction of a liver, in the end, you need to delineate in which region of the liver you want to extract that information. And that can be done manually nowadays, but for sure we would like to do it systematically in not only thousands of patients, but millions of patients.
So, Angel, as we wrap up now, we talked a little bit about AI. about segmentation, especially with regards to imaging and what KeyBeam does as far as image
Yes.
analysis and eventually using predictive algorithms and whatnot. That's all good stuff. We're gonna have more interviews about that. Let's talk about this conference that you're at because that's getting all the headlines right now. Each time I open
Hmm.
Twitter, I'm seeing the JP Morgan conference. So there's two type of conferences for people in this industry, right? There's the very technical conferences,
Yeah.
which you just been
Hmm.
to one of those, is that correct?
Yeah. We were in December in RSNA. RSNA is the reference conference for our field. It's a Radiological Society of North America, and there we have around 50 to 60,000 attendees, no, in our specialty. Big companies, radiologists, so a lot of potential customer attraction and caption.
Mm-hmm. And then you have these big generic conferences where you can get in there, you can meet with business development people, people trying to partner with someone like KeyBeam. And
Yeah.
then also, are you going to some of the breakout sessions and the keynote presentations? What have some of the discussions been about besides artificial intelligence?
Mainly, the main discussions as of now are focused in two different fields. One is the how AI will change medicine that we already commented, no, and especially we have focused in the benefits of AI in our domain. And I think that also one of the disruptions in healthcare is coming from the field of blockchain. We already know
Ah,
all the Bitcoin stuff, but as of now, I think we have a significant problem in privacy and in data of patients and how patients interact with not only the doctors but also third parties. For example, if doctors share clinical data of the patients, every time this data is shared, patients are supposed to give an agreement with that sharing of their information. So the technology right now is not implemented in this way. So the patient has their data in the hospitals, and doctors can actually are using the data with third parties or with solutions, but every time their data is accessed, the patient is not asked for the permission to access the data. So blockchain is solving all these things, and we expect more and more interaction of patients, not only with their doctors, but also with third parties, like, for example, Quibbing. No? So independently of our process, where a doctor can have the informed consent of the patient and send the images to Quibbing after having the patient sign this informed consent, it is expected that the informed consent that we know nowadays will become a kind of daily life informed consent. So you will have in the cell phone, Quibbing wants to access your images. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Because sometimes you can accept to share your data, but maybe tomorrow you wake up and you say, no, today I do not want to share my data. No, and I think that we have to preserve the rights of sharing the information to the owners of the information, that are the patients. So this is also one of the trending topics on how these blockchain companies will enter into the healthcare arena also.
Interesting. Yeah, blockchain has been huge for me as well. We're working with some vendors on electronic data capture on the blockchain, IWRS, e-patient diaries. I find it fascinating, and it has nothing to do with the currency aspect of
No.
blockchain, but if people can get creative and find ways to actually compensate a patient for their contribution to research,
Yeah.
right? Through recurrence. I mean,
Yeah.
these are things that I'm really paying attention to. So that's pretty cool to see that at JP Morgan, that's one of the big topics, one of the big two topics, right? AI and blockchain technology.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
fantastic. And then as far as KeyBeam, I mean, how many more meetings do you have left? Are you going back? When are you in San
Well, we,
Francisco?
we yeah, we finished today all our meetings, but we have next 22 to 24, we have the Precision Medicine World Congress also here in San Francisco,
Ah,
where Quibbim is showcasing. So we have a presentation here, and I will stay networking here in Silicon Valley and all the Bay Area, because we have some contacts also with pharma CROs and and technology companies that I want to visit, and also, as I was mentioning, bridge opportunities with them,
Yeah.
and put also Quivim with more visibility and in the focus of healthcare.
Of course, and we should do another interview at that conference next week or in two
Yeah, that would
weeks.
be great.
Wow, so you're
That
living in
would be really great.
California. You're living in California for a month. All of January
Yes,
is California.
that's
Not
it.
bad.
That's it.
Life
Foggy
is not
California.
tough. There you
Yeah,
go. Is this your first time
yeah.
here?
And no, there was the Bio conference 2 years ago in San
Mm-hmm.
Francisco in the Moscone Center.
Mm-hmm.
It was great conference. It's similar to JP Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
with the difference that you have also the distributors and you have also the main pharmaceutical companies from technical perspective. So it's more a deal closing conference.
Mm-hmm. And are you guys collaborating with people, with other vendors that you didn't think you would be collaborating with just because of the conference?
Yes, we are collaborating now. In fact, nowadays one of my visits next week in one of these companies is a deal, a relationship initiated in Bio 2016. So
Wow. See, these
yeah,
conferences, I keep telling all the audience members, it's important to network, and it's as these things get more complicated, you need more
yeah,
people to network with and to partner with and collaborate with, because they're talking about artificial intelligence, blockchain technology. If you don't know what you're doing, you're already behind, and so you need to partner with somebody who does know what they're doing.
absolutely,
Excellent,
absolutely.
excellent,
And
Angel.
now I think it's the key. Creating a huge network. Our company is small. We are based in Spain. We
Hmm.
need diffusion, international impact, and this is the only way to do it.
Yeah, Kibim's gonna make an impact this year. Comparable to Spain, California, or no?
Yeah, despite of the fog, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
quite similar. Lifestyle, trend of the people, also friendliness. I think it's quite similar. Also agriculture. Being on a similar latitude has
Mm-hmm.
this kind of similarities, and I see California also more open to young companies, young startups, new ideas. There is a different perspective. Obviously, East Coast is also one of the poles of biotech, no? But West Coast will be always West Coast, and in this case, all the Silicon Valley attraction and interest, I think that makes this region quite proactive in terms of investing in young companies, trying new products, and entering in new adventures in the end.
Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about JPM for everyone who couldn't be there. You get a little slice of it now. We're gonna
Yeah,
do at your next conference. We'll do another recap. And so AI and blockchain, right? That's all. If you missed it, that's all you need to know.
yeah. At least that's the main part for me. No, obviously there are other participants, investment banks, but for Quivim, for digital health, for medical imaging, I think that AI and blockchain will disrupt the market.
That's right. So everyone who did not attend, go Google everything you can about those two industries and how they apply to pharma and clinical research, and you should be maybe 60% of as if you had gone to the JPM conference. So thank you
That's it.
for sharing, Angel. We appreciate it. You
Thanks to
enjoy
you.
the rest of your stay there today, and we'll do this
Yeah.
again next week or the week after, whenever you decide we can do another interview.
Okay, Dan. Great. Thanks for the interview, and let's keep in touch.
We will.
Thank you.
Thank you and have fun. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.